Let's talk about, you've been in the news lately, and when we asked to talk, one of the things we want to talk about is the fact that that you've become a lot more politically active with your entertainment. When you look at what happened to Hank Williams Jr., what do you take away from that whole incident?
I really think that he has really held his own in this incident. And last night at the CMA Awards, he was fabulous, and the audience was just cheering him on at every turn. So I think it was probably who knows, maybe one or two people in the media was trying to make something happen, and they did up to a point, but I think it's starting to backfire on them,
There's an interesting trend, and maybe it's more related to the genre of music, because Kanye West and some of the hip-hop artists, Common has been invited to the White House, and they've been very pro-Obama and very anti-everyone else, and they've joined in with the Occupy Wall Street crowd and that sort of thing. But it seems to be that those, particularly country music singers, who've been willing to come forward, and you've really stepped out and done that. But when Toby Keith did nothing more than honor our military, he didn't make a political statement, and the Dixie Chicks slandered him, it was amazing to me. It seemed that really catapulted him to another level, a deeper level of commitment from his fans.
Well, yeah, Toby's, you don't have any doubt where he stands, and I admire him for that.
It's also seemed to be the case that increasingly more of the country music singers seem willing to step forward and say some things. We're going to have the Bellamy Brothers in a few days, and their song Jalapenos. Do you see this as a trend? Do you see more country music singers stepping forward and making political statements, particularly at such a tough time in our country where we need some folks like that to do it?
Well, I do, and I say more power to them. It's great that people are starting to come forward, and to heck with the consequences. We're going to say what's on our minds and try to straighten this deal out here.
Do you think the labels would support them? Do you think the industry would support them?
I don't know. I really don't. Up until just recently, I don't think they would, but I think maybe some people are waking up, hopefully.
Let's talk about Ray Stevens, the entertainer. Ray Stevens, the guy long before you were involved in politics. The song that you feel took you to the level that you were a household name. What was that breakout song that you really say, this made my career?
I don't know. In 1970, I wrote a song called Everything is Beautiful, and it was, I had just signed a new record deal, and I had also signed to host the Andy Williams Summer Show on NBC television, and I wanted a song that could be used as the theme for that show, and so I wrote Everything is Beautiful. And that was also a big hit. It was used as a theme for the show, and it was a hit record, too, and I thought maybe that was a pivotal moment in my career. But, later on I had a lot of hits that were comedy songs, The Streak and the Mississippi Squirrel Revival and things like that. And another song that came out of left field was my version of Misty, which employed a bluegrass arrangement with a banjo. And that was... That surprised a lot of people, and it won a Grammy that year for the best arrangement of the year. So, there have been several records that have been instrumental in creating moments that were, good for me as far as my career goes. But I can't point to any one specific thing, I don't think.
Do you ever look back when you look at royalty checks or you look at records and you look at overall sales? Do you ever look back and think to yourself, the Streak sold that many? Did you ever expect that whole Mississippi Squirrel Revival and the Streak and all the fun stuff, did you ever expect that to create such a buzz that it did?
Well, you never know. There are people who say, and I have said, yeah, I felt it in my bones that was going to be a hit. And I did feel that way about the Streak. But I didn't know about a lot of the others. the streak was a kind of a special circumstance, though. The topic was so hot in the news, and I sent a disc. Back in those days, you sent out acetates to radio stations to get feedback, and I sent one acetate to the number one station here in Nashville, where I cut the song and where I live. And the response was so overwhelming, I knew before we even put the record out that it was going to be a hit. I didn't know it was going to be that big, though.
Well, you know, Streakin's making a big comeback, so you may have another hit on that. Ray Stevens, you have a candidate in this current field?
You know, I'm a conservative guy, and I like all the candidates that are in the debates right now or in the race. They're all any one of them would be 20 times better than what we've got. I've always liked Newt Gingrich, however, and I like Rick Perry too. But being from Georgia, I think I'm leaning a little toward Newt. Also, Herman Cain is a good man. I think all this sex scandal stuff is all trumped up against him. I don't think that it's worth even worrying about whatsoever, although he has to worry about it, that's for sure, but as a voter. But, you know, any one of those guys would be better than what we got.
Ray Stevens, last question for you. What do you do these days? I know a lot of my listeners have emailed the last time they saw you in Branson. I mean, how much are you touring? How much are you performing?
Well, we're starting to book out quite a bit. We're going. The next show is in a casino in Biloxi, Mississippi, and I'm looking forward to that. The Imperial Palace, as a matter of fact. But you know, I still enjoy performing, and we're doing that a lot. I've got a new project coming out. It's called the Encyclopedia of Recorded Comedy Music, and it's a very ambitious, big set of records. There are 9 12-song CDs in there and a little coffee table book in the package. And you know, I've been working on it for over 2 years, so it's really been a labor of love, and it's turned out very well. I'm very proud of it, and it's coming out first year.
So this is your sort of Bill Anderson does comedy bits.
And what do you mean?
Well,
now?
you know, Bill Anderson did the whole Conversations with the Legends that they had put on satellite TV, and he went back and got a lot of the legends over the years of classic country music, and he sat down with them, and they told the stories, many of which had never really been compiled in one place, and they made a CD compilation out of it. It was fantastic.
Well, this is a little different from that, but because I recorded all the songs that I'm including in this album. I re-recorded. They're Ray Stevens records, but you know, maybe it's just because I wish I had recorded the original version, and this is my chance.
Well, there you have it. I will make sure that I buy the box set, and I look forward to that coming out. Ray Stevens, thank you for being our guest. Thank you for being willing to step forward and say what's on your mind, because I happen to agree with it.
Well, thank you, Mike Berry.
All right, sir.